Hi folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys Ride. Today Rob and I are here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're here at the SEMA show. We're here with Todd from
Trans Am Worldwide.
Trans Am Worldwide, and we walked by and we saw this. What a creation, because it's sort of a combination of, well, a dream that you had and two different vehicles, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us basically what we have in the 70SS.
Okay, so what you see here is our interpretation of the 1970 Chevelle that we refer to as the 70SS. So the way it works is we start with a brand new Camaro, 22-23, and we strip it down to a rolling chassis, and then we build it back with a full carbon fiber body, like you see here.
Wow, so all carbon fiber. All right, so Trans Am Worldwide, you've been doing this for many years on other cars.
Correct. Yeah, we've been doing the conversions, the modern interpretations of the older body styles for 14 years.
Okay.
We started with the Trans Am. We've done the GTO, and a few years ago I said one day we'll do our interpretation of the Chevelle, and so this is actually our first public viewing of the cars that we've done so far.
Well, and what a stunning example to come with. So what was the impetus for choosing that combination? Why Chevelle?
Okay, good question. One, my brother and I grew up in the back of the Chevelle. All right, so my mother had one, and so there was a personal connection. Two, it's such an iconic muscle car, and it wasn't being done. We had the capacity to do it, and I thought, what the heck, we're going to give it a try.
You know, let's kind of start. So you bought the frame. You bought the car. You bought the Camaro.
Well, right. Yeah.
And then you went reverse. You stripped everything off of it.
Yeah, exactly. So we take the donor, and we unwind the process of the original build down to just the rolling chassis. We maintain all the safety features, all the crash control. Obviously the airbags. None of that changes, but the body panels themselves is what changes. And in the end, we have a car that's 14 inches longer, 6 inches wider than the donor car.
You know, we were looking a little earlier because, I mean, the stance and the rake on it is perfect. And we're like, wow, how close? Oh, no, you can get you can tell there's a little. So there's an interesting story behind how this is designed. So when you came up with the idea and you decided this is what we're doing, what was the first thing you redesigned on the car?
Well, the first thing that we started with, and I give this credit to our designer and engineer, Tom Sawyer.
As in Huckleberry Finn?
Yeah, exactly. As in,
sure he's a real
I've
character.
got to paint a fence kind of Tom Sawyer, yeah. So we started with what size wheel and tire do we want? And we built around that. Because we needed, like you say, we needed that rake and that stance, and we wanted a wide tire. And we wanted a lot of rubber on the ground, and so we started there and we built around it. And so then Tom would, and in that case, once we established that in CAD data,
right?
So we start with the Camaro CAD data, and then from there we started building body panels. In this case, we started in the rear of the car, started with the bumpers, the deck lid, the tonneau cover, and then we worked our way around with the quarter panels, the door, fenders, to the front of the car.
You know, it's just so interesting because I don't put cars together, I drive them, right? But when you think about that, it's just such an interesting process that's starting there. It makes absolute sense when you actually say, talk about why you want to start with it. But I mean, that's incredible. So you got the draw, you got started there, got it figured out. So, I mean, there are lots of little hints and cues, from the Chevelle all over.
Yes.
So let's point out, I'm going to have you point out a couple on the outside, and then besides the rake, because that's one of them.
Kind of speaks
and
for
then
itself.
on the inside too.
Sure. So my favorite is the rear of the car, because there's nothing to me that screams more 70 SS than that blacked out tail panel, and the square tail lights. And so in this case, because we widen the car, we've got a more a more aggressive look, right?
Definitely.
And so we went with in our tail panel. You'll see went with the kind of the oval shape, but kind of squared off on the edges, exhaust tips, and then we integrated the blackout panel there with the SS. We will be offering a chrome bumper option.
Okay.
It's not on this car, but that is going to be available. So customers can choose between painted or chrome. And so then that's, to me, one of the more striking features of the car is the back.
It's just, I mean, it's so fun because if you're familiar with it, with the Chevelles, I mean, you can pick up these cues just by looking at it.
Right,
I mean,
you know.
You wouldn't you walk down and go, what is it? Wait a minute, somebody can,
And then one of the more kind of a throwback on this particular model are the vintage style wheels. So you can tell that this is a rally wheel, but more of a modern interpretation of a rally, right?
Yep. All right, let's talk about, there are lots of different touches on the inside that refer back to the Chevelle.
Yeah, and so on the interior, we start with the seats. We start with the inner structure of the donor car, and then we change the padding and the seat covers to match the 70.
Okay.
On the automatics, we go with a horseshoe shifter. On the manuals, we go with the Hearst swing back, and then in this case, we change the AC to the old Astro style AC vents. We changed the gauges. We changed the font and the gauges to the old style, as well as the color, the old green.
Yes, I can. Yeah, that I think that's so neat. But it's all those little touches there that give you just a hint that maybe this is what the Chevelle would have looked like.
Exactly.
Had they kept producing it.
And also, well, and that's part of it. It needs to be an experience when you get in, especially if you've ever owned one. You want to feel like, wow, this is what a modern.
I think you're an overachiever. I think the experience starts out here.
Yeah, well.
And it just continues. Sure. I mean, that is awesome. Now, let's talk about what the power plan is.
Okay. So we offer a variety of powertrain options. In this case, what you're looking at here is one of only 25 that we're going to build on the 454.
Because you build your engines.
We do. In this case, this is an iron block. It's a GM iron block that we start with, and then we install our own rotating assembly. And this particular car has twin turbos, and this is kind of like top of the food chain.
Yep.
Where it's 1500 rear wheel.
Whoa.
Yeah. And but
really, that's only a 750 for you and 750 for your brother.
Well, there you go.
Right.
Yeah,
so really,
it's a family affair.
Yeah. There you go.
But it's controllable in the sense that we do boost by speed. So let's say if it takes 17 pounds of boost to get to that number, with a supercharger, when you nail it at the traffic light, you got all. It's all or nothing, right? In this case, it's only adding a little bit, and in microseconds, it's adding more as you go.
So it's drivable as an everyday car.
Yeah, it's as intimidating as it is, and have that kind of power. It is much more manageable than if it was dumping all of that at one time. Oh
yeah, that'd be a whole different story, man. That is beautiful, and I love the fact that you've made it drivable. I know some cars perhaps belong in a museum, but I'm a firm believer cars need to be driven.
Yeah, no, we build them to drive. For sure.
And that's just, oh man, this is beautiful, absolutely stunning. Thank you.
Yeah,
for making a lot of people's dreams, because I don't think it was just you was thinking what this would have looked like.
and kind of knew that. The Chevelle was a big market, and there was a lot of love for that brand, and one of the most iconic muscle cars ever built in America.
This is going to be a huge hit.
Yeah.
And this is the unveiling here at SEMA for this particular one.
Like I said, this is the first public viewing of these cars.
Man, because right over here to our right, you've got the first one you did.
Yeah.
Because this is actually the second one.
This is the second
This
pilot.
was like the prototype?
This was a prototype. So we did that in more of a heritage color. That's called Envy Green. We did it with gold stripes.
Okay.
That's a manual, $396.
So what did you change from this one to that one?
So what we like to do is build at least 2 prototype cars that we can evaluate and say, what do we need to change either aesthetically or in the mold to make it more build efficient.
Okay.
And we probably made a dozen changes from this car to that car. And actually, there's changes that are made from that car to the #1 production car that's actually in production right now as we speak.
Can we take a look under the hood?
Yeah, for sure.
This is a beautiful. Do you do your painting in-house as well?
Oh yeah, we do literally everything in-house. Here we go.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is a thing of beauty.
So in this case, we take the original aluminum block.
Okay.
And we remove it, we bore it, hone it, and we refit the 396 rotating assembly.
Man.
And I'll give you a little trivia here. Back in the day, as you well know, the 396 was actually a 402. And the marketing department already started badging started there for 396. We did the same thing here. This is technically a 402 cubic inch, badged at 396, just like they did back in the day. And we picked green as the color because the very first 70 LS6 was green. So we wanted our first prototype to be
pay homage
version
to
of
that.
that. Exactly.
Oh man. Well, that is beautiful and stunning. It's amazing what you guys can craft. I mean, that's top-notch work.
Yeah.
So a question that our viewers might have is, do you take orders? Obviously, I think you do.
Right now we're just before I even got here, we're probably 10 months back ordered right now. So orders that I'm taking here at the show, you're probably looking by the end of next year delivery time.
Right, but one can order from you.
Absolutely.
So where do they go? Where's the best place to find you online?
They go to transamworldwide.com, and they'll see right on the home page there'll be some direction there, and they can fill out a little form, and then we'll respond to them.
Right, and then set it up from there.
Exactly.
Man, I'll tell you what, Todd. Thank you so much for taking your time today to show us, both of these beautiful cars, and for bringing a dream to life. I mean, for you, but I think for a lot of fans as well. So thank you for sharing your time.
Appreciate it.
Awesome job, awesome build.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.